Hey guys, it's Mr. Hooper. You didn't think you'd get away from me that easily, did you? Alright, so listen, I know you guys thought you were going to have the day off today, but I want to finish up with our elasticity lessons so we don't lose any more time. And I'm sure right now Mrs. Binder is pushing play for you, and hopefully you guys can follow this video. Mrs. Binder, feel free to stop this video at any point that you guys need to take a few more minutes to write some things down. But I'm going to go ahead and record just a short lesson, and then you have a worksheet and some homework to follow up on for me. So everybody pay attention and please behave yourself. Dan Krillo, that especially means you. Alright, here we go. So we're going to finish up on elasticity. Where have we been so far? A little reminder, right? We've said what is an elastic versus an inelastic good. We've learned what makes a good elastic or inelastic. We've learned how to calculate our E coefficient. We've learned what elasticity does to revenue. And we've learned that the demand curve, parts of it are elastic and parts of it are inelastic. Everything to the left of the midpoint is elastic, and everything to the right of the midpoint is inelastic. You don't need to write all this down. This is stuff that's just kind of a summary of where we've been. Okay? You also don't need to write down this slide because this is what we did yesterday, which is a review. Okay? First thing we did was income inelasticity yesterday. And we learned the formula, which was the percent change in quantity demand divided by the percent change in income. And we also figured out that when that was true, if I was less than 0, we had an inferior good, meaning that as your income went one direction, the quantity that you consumed went the other direction. And of course that meant that if I was greater than 0, it is a normal good. Alright, that's a review from yesterday, nothing new there, but just a good thing to kind of refresh our minds about. New stuff, and I have put in bold anything that I would like you to take notes on, so please follow along. Elasticity of supply. We've spent most of this entire unit talking about elasticity of demand, and I feel like we may have neglected supply a little bit. Supply will not be the focus of our test or of the AP exam, but there might be a question somewhere along the way, so I want to make sure you guys are familiar with it. What makes a good elastic when it comes to supply? In other words, what makes a very large change in price cause the supply to change only a little if it's inelastic? Or if it's elastic, what causes a small change in price to create a large change in the quantity supply? And the good news is with a supply, there's only one answer, and here it is. Elasticity of supply works like this. Producers that can act quickly to changes in the market have an elastic supply. Those that cannot have an inelastic supply. And I'll give you an example. If somebody has, let's say, a lemonade stand, and that lemonade stand is making 1 or 2 glasses of juice an hour, and Minute Maid, the entire Minute Maid company, makes 100,000 glasses of juice a day. If you went to that little girl who owned the lemonade stand and said, could you double your output of supply? She would say, well, I was making 2 glasses, now I'll just make 4. No problem. She can easily adjust to more people becoming interested in her lemonade. If the price went up, she could easily produce more to gain extra money by selling that lemonade, right? She just has to go and grab some more lemons and squeeze some more lemons. But if you were to go to Minute Maid and say you have to double your output of lemonade, they would probably have to build new factories, they'd probably have to hire more workers, they'd probably have to install more trees. It just isn't going to happen. So they cannot adjust to the price. In other words, to them, the price doesn't matter that much. No matter what the price, they can't adjust that quickly. So they have an inelastic supply. Whereas the little girl can easily adjust. If the price goes up and she wants to make more, she can easily do that. Another example might be in teaching, right? If they went to me and said, Mr. Hooper, we want you to teach 1 more class. No big deal. I would just teach 1 more class. We'll offer you some more money, you teach an extra class. Great, no problem. I can easily adjust. 1 extra class for me is no big deal. But if they went to Spring Valley High School and said, we need you to teach another 100 classes, that would be a huge adjustment. We'd have to probably build more space in the classes. We'd probably have to hire more teachers. We'd have to reprogram the schedule. There would be this massive change. So in terms of supplying education, mine is very elastic. I can easily adjust if they were to, let's say, pay me more money. But even if somebody was to come in and offer Spring Valley High School a lot of money to teach 100 more classes, we probably couldn't do it right away. The price wouldn't matter that much because we just don't have the space or the flexibility to do that. That's the difference. Okay, so again, if supply is very, very easily to adjust, or made easy to adjust, that wasn't a full sentence. If you can easily adjust to supply, then you have an elastic supply curve. If you can't, you have an inelastic supply curve. Okay, one more, and that is the cross price elasticity. One more type to go through. Again, not hard. Like we've been using the E for the elasticity of demand and the I for the income elasticity, in this case we're going to use a C. And what is the cross price elasticity? Well, it's simply how much does the price of one good impact the quantity consumed of another good. Remember that elasticity really does measure how much does the change in the price of one thing affect something else. In this case, take a look at the formula. C is equal to the percent change in quantity demand of one good, good X, divided by the percent change in the price of another good, good Y. And here again, this is going to actually be something very familiar to us. Suppose that the price of good Y increased by 100%, but the quantity demand of good X decreased by 100% when the price of good Y increased. What kind of goods would those be? We've heard about this before. When the price of one good rises, and therefore the demand of another good decreases, those kind of goods are called complements. And if one is positive and one is negative, that means the overall number must be a negative. So, what's our rule? When it comes to cross price, it's very simple. If C is less than 0 once you calculate it, these goods are, that's an error. These goods are complements. If C is less than 0, these goods are substitutes. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I just read that backwards. Let me try it again. The part on the screen is correct. I just read it backwards. If C is greater than 0, the goods are substitutes. If C is less than 0, the goods are complements. Very simple concept. Okay, at this point, I'd like to go on and give you your homework for today and the weekend. The first thing you're going to do is complete the worksheet that Miss Binder has for you there. That's going to be done in class. Again, the worksheet Miss Binder has right now is passing out, hopefully, is going to be done in class. That should be done by the time you come into class for tomorrow. And the remainder of the homework is right here. 2 problems from the blue packet. I'm sorry, I don't have the pages from the blue packet, but they are in chronological order. So you'll see 2005 Form B number 3, 2012 number 2, and then from our old textbook, page 111 and 112, questions 4 and 10. All right, guys, good luck. I'll see you tomorrow. Test will be on Monday. Excuse me, we'll do a new lesson tomorrow, and then on Friday we'll spend the whole day reviewing. All right, take care, guys.